Welcome back, vids. In this video, I had the opportunity to use one of the smallest RAW recording cameras that I know of anyway, and I got more out of it than I expected after this. Yes, welcome back, vidheads. The Blackmagic Micro Studio Camera 4K G2, man, that's a mouthful. But man, let me tell you, spoiler alert, I believe the image out of this camera is on par and rivaling a lot of cameras outside of its price range. What I mean by that is this camera is only $995, but the image I'm getting out of it easily is rivaling cameras that's in the $3,000 range. Very easy. Now, it's a 4K camera and it records up to 60 frames per second. And man, I am so glad that I pulled the trigger on this camera. Now, there are some challenges, but you know, the upsides for me outweigh the challenges. So for me, being a cinema-minded person, image is more important to me than anything else. If there's some challenges, my thought process is to actually go about solving the challenges for my workflow. This camera, I'm still a little bit on the fence, and I'm telling you right now, this camera can produce a beautiful 4K image. Well, let's get to it. BRAW. Now, my first experience with BRAW was with this camera. Now, I've dealt with ProRes RAW, I've dealt with Canon RAW, I've dealt with Red RAW, and I like BRAW, right? And so I'm not saying I like it better than all the other ones. Okay, so this camera only records BRAW. And so I record at the best resolution I possibly can. So I'm recording at 3:1. And you can record at 3:1, 5:1, I think 8:1. I'll put it up on the screen. So these are different compressions of RAW. And from what I understand, you're not gonna see much of a difference between 3:1 through 8:1. But me, I'm gonna shoot the best I possibly can shoot because that's just me. Now, I should put a note here where I am in class to be a colorist. So I've been trying my best to get the most out of these cameras because I want to put it in my post-editing suite, and I want to be able to push and pull colors and experiment and look at certain things. And I'm gonna have to tell you right now, with this camera, my first experience with BRAW, I love BRAW. BRAW is a beautiful thing. It is. And I love the colors that come out of Blackmagic cameras, because I want to preface this by saying I pre-ordered the Pyxis 6K. And so when I pre-ordered this Pyxis 6K and I'm still waiting for that to be released, I was looking for a B or C camera to go with that camera. So yeah, it kind of works out in a way where I believe that this camera is a decent B, C camera. Any place you want to use this camera, like studio, it was created for studio environment. So anytime you put it in that environment, it's gonna excel, right? There is, like I said, some drawbacks, and there's some challenges. I call them challenges. So there's some challenges to try to get around. And so we're gonna talk about that as well. Okay, so what attracted me to this camera mainly was that it shoots micro four thirds mount, the image that comes out of it, and the BRAW. Those are the three things that had me thinking, this could happen. This could be a thing. And so reason why I like the micro four thirds mount is because even though it has a crop factor of 2.121, with a speed booster that I have is the Metabones 0.64 times speed booster, focal reducer, it brings it from 2.121 up to 1.35744. So that's between full frame and Super 35. Using the speed booster, now I have to calculate my focal ranges. But the beauty of this is using the speed booster gives me 1 1/3 more light. So anyway, that drew me. Then the BRAW. Now again, all the cameras I've had, I've always tried to shoot the maximum amount, and I'm always going to try to shoot the maximum amount. When I had the Canon R5C, I don't think I did a video on this channel about the R5C because I didn't think that too many viewers was into that kind of thing. But I did do a video on the R8, which is the D camera to the R5C. So now looking at this camera, what I'm learning is making me more disciplined. So it has dual native ISO, 400 ISO and 3200 ISO. So I've been shooting at 400 ISO for the most part, and I'm telling you, I can even shoot at 400 ISO at night and still have good success. Why? Mainly because I got f1.2 lenses, and it gives me the speed booster gives me a stop and a third more light to my sensor. So if I have a 1.4, let's say I had a Sigma 1.4 lens, 35 millimeter, right? Then wide open with the speed booster, it's gonna be like f.99 or f.98, somewhere in that proximity. That's just crazy, you know, open aperture, you know what I'm saying, getting more light into the sensor. And so with that gives you more razor thin depth of field. So I ended up getting the Rokinon SP lenses to go with this camera. It wasn't specifically for this camera. Again, I'm buying more stuff for the Pyxis 6, so when it releases, I'll have the stuff for it. That speed booster allows me to share the same camera mount as the Pyxis 6K, because I got the Pyxis 6K with the EF mount. So where I'll be able to interchange lenses between those two cameras. So now I'll have the same look. That's what I'm hoping. I'm gonna have the same look, same color science, and it should, you know, pretty much edit seamlessly, you know, cut seamlessly between the two cameras. The Micro Four Thirds mount is awesome. The BRAW is awesome. The Color Science for Blackmagic is awesome. And the image I'm getting out of the camera is awesome. That I can say. And so now it's all about trying to work around all the other things that I think are challenges. So now the challenges to this camera, I'm going to tell you right up front. First off, 1, no autofocus. 2, there is no playback. So when you record a clip, there's no playback in the camera. The camera does not play back the raw BRAW images. So what I did to work around that, I got a Hollyland Mars M1 enhanced, and that monitor will record up to 2 minutes. And so then once I'm done, I can actually play back what the monitor has recorded. So basically it's just recording what the camera sees. So I like that as well. That helps. That's a good turnaround, because that helps me see what's in the frame. Because, you know, when you're recording, you're looking at what's in the frame, you're looking at focus, you're kind of concentrating on other things. You're not looking at the overall scope of things. So once you record it, you want to play it back so you can kind of take a step back and look and see what you're captured. And so that is a very handy feature to have. And when you don't have that, that would kind of suck, because then you have to wait to get back to your editing suite to actually see what you captured. So yeah, I like that part. So I worked around that. Also, I grabbed the XLCS cage. Will Von Tagen, I think is his name, who actually created this cage. Man, I love this cage. The cage gives me all kind of mounting points and things like that, but I'll be talking about that in my rig video that's coming up. And I also got the Cine expansion pack, and I've already did some doctoring to that, and I'm loving the way things are starting to come out with that. And I'm doing my little tweak on the flow of that rig as well. So I'll be able to have the metal cage, and I'll have the expansion pack rig as well. And so I'm kind of anxious to show you guys how that's actually going to transpire. So stay tuned for that video. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed, because I'm coming back with those videos as well. The next challenge is navigating the menu. Now, I got mixed feelings about this, because navigating the menu is, with the buttons that are provided on the camera, it's quite hard to try to do it by memory without looking. So that means you got to try to hit the buttons. And even when you can look, the way they're flat, the way it's designed, it makes it very fiddly and very undesirable. Put it like that. It's undesirable. But those Cine buttons, I don't know if you guys even know anything about Cine. I'll leave a link in the description below about Cine. Also, I'll leave a link in the description below about all the stuff that I'm using with this camera. That way you guys can go check it out, what I'm talking about. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think? Is this something for you or not? I mean, I understand if it's not, because there's a lot of cameras out there I don't want to shoot with. I want to give a big shout out to one of the vid heads, Flores Media. I remember when this guy first started. I don't know if he just first started, but I know he was just starting up his YouTube channel, and he was starting to get more into filming. And I remember before he even shot his first wedding, and how he was talking and how he was feeling. Now he's just so, advanced, and he has grown so much, man. I'm so proud of this guy. You guys, make sure you go give that guy some love over in his channel. He has grown tremendously. His equipment has grown along with his work. You can kind of tell. A lot of people, when they first start out, you can kind of tell where they're at, and then once their client base grows, so does their equipment grows, because they want to encompass more. They get more comfortable in their skin when it comes to filming, and you can kind of see that, right? And so I love to see people elevate. I love that. So all you vid heads who are elevating, man, let me know down in the comments below. I mean, I love to hear those stories about, whatever it is, how you've grown from where you were to where you are now. You guys know me. I'm Aaron Jones. I'm your big brother, and I got your back. This channel is all about iron sharpening iron, and we all taking our skill to the next level. If you're all right with that, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell below, and make sure you go out and you film something and kill it.